Hi, everyone. Let's start with segmenting words into each individual sound. The first word is cord.
Cord.
K or d. Pearl.
Pearl.
L. Scarf.
Scarf.
Garden.
Garden.
Garden. Party.
Party.
Arte. Over.
Over.
Forest.
Forest.
Great job. Now I'm going to say a word or part. You'll repeat that part, and then we're going to add a new sound to the beginning to make a word. Say turn.
Turn.
Add s to the beginning, and the word is stern. Say arc.
Arc.
Add sh to the beginning, and the word is shark. Say park.
Park.
Add s to the beginning, and the word is spark. Say core.
Core.
Add s to the beginning, and the word is score. Say or. Add ch to the beginning, and the word is chore. Say erst. Add th to the beginning, and the word is thirst. Now we're going to add sounds to the end of the words. Repeat after me. Say pour.
Pour.
Add ch to the end, and the word is porch. Say star.
Star.
Add t to the end, and the word is start. Say storm.
Storm.
Add e to the end, and the word is stormy. Say farm.
Farm.
Add to the end, and the word is farmer. Say fur.
Fur.
Add st to the end, and the word is first. The last one, say store.
Store.
Add e to the end, and the word is story. Great job, everyone. Now we are going to blend syllables together to make a word. So I will chop a word into syllables. You just listen and then blend all the sounds together, all the syllables together to make a word. Let's go. Dimension. Dimension. Macaroni. Macaroni. Perfectly. Perfectly. Frequently. Frequently. Identify. Identify. Contraption. Contraption. Projector. Projector. History. History. Great work. Now for the last one. I'm going to say a word, you repeat the word, and you use your hands to chop it into syllables. Computer.
Computer.
Computer. Dishwasher.
Dishwasher.
Dishwasher. Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake. Grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
Grasshopper. Vehicle.
Vehicle.
Vehicle. Hamburger.
Hamburger.
Hamburger. Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere. However.
However.
However. Great work, everyone.
Hi Arlington community, Mrs. Kaufman here to work with you on high frequency words. Today I'm going to teach you a fun game, a scavenger hunt. You can take the high frequency words that you've been working on and write them on index cards and have somebody in your family hide them all over the house. You will also need some paper and a pencil or a pen because you're going to go hunting for words. Watch me as I hunt for the words in my house. I see the word before, and I'm going to read it. Before, and then I'm going to write it. Try to write it without looking at the word. Before. And then look up and check. Oh, I wrote it correctly. I'm going to go on to the next word. Here's another word. Often. Oh, I'm going to write it down without looking. I didn't write it correctly, so I'm going to cross it out and I'm going to fix it. Often, like 10. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to keep looking. Ooh, the word without. Without. I'm going to write it down without looking. Without. Oh, it looks like I got it correct. Now, when you've gone around your house and you've written down all the words that you found on your scavenger hunt, you're going to read through your list at the end to check and practice the words again. So I have before, often, without, sometimes, everything, outside. Oh, this is such a fun way to practice my high frequency words. Try a scavenger hunt out at your house.
Hi everyone! Today I'm going to teach you about another R-controlled vowel. Let's get started. Listen to this sentence. What sound do you hear that's the same in each of the words? 40 lords forked corn for sport. Listen one more time. I'll read it again. 40 lords forked corn for sport. Did you hear the sound or in each of those words? You're right. The new pattern that we're going to talk about today is OR. OR makes the sound or like in horn. Can you think of any other words with the sound or in them? I'll give you a moment to think. Here are some that I thought of. Fork, storm, corn, sport, and torch. Now that we've practiced reading words with the OR pattern to make the sound or, let's write some. We can use our sound lines again to help us listen for each of the sounds in these words to spell them correctly. Now remember, OR goes together to make the sound or. So when I hear that sound, those two letters will go on one sound line. The first word is nor. Our controlled vowels make neither the short nor the long sound. Nor. N, or. Nor. My next word is sort. I have to sort my dirty and clean laundry. Sort. Or. T. Sort. Just like I did with my other bossy R patterns, I can use this same method to write multisyllabic words, words that have two or more syllables, like order. We have a line order in our class. Order. I'll start with the first syllable, or. That's our pattern, O-R. The second syllable is der. And ER is another bossy R pattern we talked about. Order. The new bossy R pattern that we talked about today was OR. OR makes the sound or, like in the word horn. Be on the lookout for this bossy R pattern as well.
Hi students, Mr. Parker here, and boy have I got a great story for you today. It's a nonfiction story, which means it's true, and it's called The Mona Lisa Mystery. Have you ever seen the painting, The Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci? If you have, activate your background knowledge. What do you know about it? If you haven't seen it yet, don't worry, you'll see it in this story and you'll learn a whole lot about it. Our focus for instruction today is going to be on asking questions and answering those questions before we read, during our reading, and after our reading. Did you know that reading is thinking? As you're reading, your brain's taking in all sorts of new information, and you're thinking about all that information, and you're also asking questions about it. So it's important for readers to sometimes stop themselves, make sure they're asking questions and thinking, and make sure they're finding the answers to their questions too. It's important to do this because it teaches us new information and it encourages us to keep reading and learning more. So as we read this story today, The Mona Lisa Mystery, we'll stop and we'll ask some questions and we'll also make sure we get some answers. I hope you enjoy. All right, here we go. The Mona Lisa Mystery, an art history mystery by Dina Anastasio, illustrated by David Cockcroft. Remember, our focus is on answering questions, and just from the cover alone, I have questions. I'm wondering, who was Mona Lisa anyway, and what is the mystery? I think we'll find out as we read. The Mona Lisa Mystery. Between the years 1503 and 1506, the Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci worked on a painting that would become one of the most famous paintings in the world. It is called the Mona Lisa. Until recently, there were few certain facts known about the woman in the painting or about her life. Her real identity had remained unproven. Many people thought that she lived in the town of Florence, Italy, where Leonardo also lived. Others believed that he painted it by copying the parts of several different people. Some people even thought that the artist just imagined her in his mind. So going back to my question, seems like some people thought she was made up, or they just weren't sure. New evidence supports the long-held belief that she was a real person, and her name was Lisa. The evidence also shows that both Lisa's family and her husband, a wealthy silk merchant in Florence, knew Leonardo's father. The small painting has been hanging in the Louvre Museum in Paris, France for over 200 years. Every day, visitors come to stare at her mysterious smile and her eyes. They try to imagine what she was thinking about as she posed. Artists looked closely to see what special skills Leonardo used to make her hands look so natural. How did he create the shadowy background behind her? Oh, well, on this page, one of my questions was definitely answered. She was real. Her name was Lisa, and she knew the painter. I also underlined a question that the author asked us. That's one I'm not sure we'll be able to answer. But in 1911, another mystery about the Mona Lisa was created. Oh, here we go. I think this is going to answer my other question. One day, the painting disappeared and didn't come back for over 2 years. Whoa, it disappeared? I wonder what happened to it. On August 22nd, 1911, an artist named Louis came to the Louvre Museum to study and copy the Mona Lisa, as artists and students were allowed to do. It was a Tuesday, which is important because on Monday the museum was closed. Louis entered the room where the Mona Lisa always hung, but the painting wasn't there. Had someone moved it? He waited for a while. Then he asked a guard to please go and ask about it. When the guard came back, he had very bad news. The Mona Lisa was missing. If you're like me, readers, you're filled with questions now. It was stolen? Who would do that, and why? The police were called. They searched every room. Soon they had clue number 1. The Mona Lisa's wooden frame was found near the stairs. The police questioned every person who worked at the museum. They felt sure that the theft had occurred on Monday when the museum was closed. They guessed that the thief had been a museum laborer, or had he just dressed as one so no one would notice him? They thought that when the guard was away, the thief simply had taken the painting off the wall. He carried it to the stairs, then he took off the painting's heavy frame. The Mona Lisa is painted on a piece of wood, so it couldn't be rolled up. This gives me some questions too. I wonder how big the Mona Lisa actually is. It couldn't be too big if someone could hide it under their coat. He had put the painting under his work shirt and gone down the stairs. The door was locked. He knew how to take off the lock, so he did. Then he walked outside and was gone. The museum closed for a week. The police talked with everyone they could think of. They closed all the border crossings in and out of France. Fingerprint experts arrived. They fingerprinted people from all over the city and put the fingerprints on file. Every day, people waited to hear what the police had learned. When the museum opened again, people came to stare at the empty space where the Mona Lisa had hung for over 100 years. They just couldn't believe that the Mona Lisa was gone. I know the Mona Lisa is back on display in Paris now, so I'm wondering, how did they ever find it? I bet as we keep reading, we'll find out. Then the police found clue number 2. Clue number 2 was a thumbprint. It was on the glass of the frame that they found by the stairs. The experts compared the thumbprint on the glass to all the thumbprints they had put in the file. Would one match? Would this print solve the crime? I'm wondering this too, readers. Everyone waited for the fingerprint results, but there was a big problem. The thumbprint on the glass was from the thief's left hand. The fingerprint experts had taken prints from the people's right hands. They couldn't match the right hand prints in the file to the thief's left thumbprint. So there's the answer to the question on the previous page. Can the fingerprints help them solve this? No, not this time. Everyone was upset. No one knew what to do next. For the next 2 years, people called the police almost every day. Everyone had a new theory about what had happened to the Mona Lisa or where it was. But there were no real clues. The Mona Lisa seemed to have vanished. Then came clue number 3. But perhaps it shouldn't be called a clue at all, because it was the thief himself who told the police about his motive for taking the painting. The famous painter of the Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci, was Italian. Leonardo had painted the Mona Lisa in Italy, but the painting had been hanging in a museum in France for years. Can you guess the thief's motive? I know this is a question we're all wondering. Can you, friends, if you look back at that information? 2 years after the theft, on December 10th, 1913, a man named Vincenzo walked into an antique store in Florence, Italy. I have the Mona Lisa, he said. The owner of the antique store called the director of a museum in Florence. They both went with Vincenzo to his hotel room. Vincenzo opened a trunk and removed a false bottom. There was Leonardo's Mona Lisa. Vincenzo admitted to stealing it. He had been a laborer at the museum. He saw the Mona Lisa every day. He was sad that it was in a museum in France. His motive for taking it, he said, was to return the Mona Lisa to Italy, where he believed it truly belonged. Check, readers. Now we know who stole it, and we know why. Safely back in Paris, the painting was examined by experts. They wanted to be sure that this was the real painting and not a forgery. X-rays and photographs were made. Was this the same paint and varnish used in other Leonardo paintings? What about the wood on which it was painted? How old was it? Oh, I just had a new question. Is this the real thing? The painting was indeed Leonardo's masterpiece. The Mona Lisa was returned to a special place in the Louvre Museum. It still hangs there today, and is seen by over 14,000 people a day. Wow. Most of my questions were answered, but I do still wonder what happened to Vincenzo. Oh, I didn't notice this part at the bottom. After only 7 months, Vincenzo left jail to Cheers. He was a celebrity. People sent him wine and flowers. He was married, and then the man who had said that he hated France moved his family back there. Vincenzo Perugia opened a successful paint and varnish store in a small French town. There he lived a quiet and uneventful life until he died in 1947. Wow, question answered. All right, friends, now that we're finished with the story, do you still have questions about the Mona Lisa or the mystery surrounding it? If you do, jot those questions down. I hope you enjoyed reading this story. All right, now that we've finished the story, let's take a little quiz and see how we did with our skill for today. Now that we've read the Mona Lisa mystery, let's make sure our questions got answered. Who was Mona Lisa anyway? If you're having trouble remembering the answer to this question, you can pause to think, or you can go back to the text. That's right. For a long time, people weren't sure who Mona Lisa was, but now we know that her name was Lisa, and she lived in Italy a long time ago. Her family knew the painter Leonardo da Vinci. You got it. What was the mystery surrounding the Mona Lisa? Yes, the mystery was that the Mona Lisa disappeared from the museum in Paris where it was on display. It was gone for over 2 years and no one could find it. Who stole the Mona Lisa and why? You got it. A man named Vincenzo Perugia, who worked at the museum, stole the painting one day when the museum was closed. He stole it because he knew that it was painted in Italy by an Italian artist, and he thought it should be returned to its native country. What about the questions we have after we read a story? After we finish a story, sometimes we still have questions that haven't been answered. Remember, I was wondering how big the Mona Lisa painting actually is. If you still have questions, this encourages you to read and research more. Find another story about the topic. It may have your answers. I read another nonfiction story about the Mona Lisa, and I learned that it is 2 feet 6 inches by 1 foot 9 inches. It only comes up to my hip. Thanks for learning with me today. And don't forget to keep asking questions before, during, and after you read. It helps you learn new information and encourages you to keep reading and learning more. See you next time.
Today I'm going to show you how to elaborate or tell more about your story once you've written it. Remember, last time I thought of something that happened to me and I wrote my words and I drew my picture. Well, I went back and I added more to my illustration. Adding more to your illustration is a great tool to help you add words. So I added a chair and a table. I colored in Mr. B. I added a couch and a blue rug. And if you remember, my story was about a mouse in my house. And last time I jotted down a couple words so that I would remember what happened in the beginning of my story. B stands for beginning. And I'm going to retell my story to you with more details. I'm going to elaborate. So first, let's reread the words that we wrote last time. Mr. B, there he is, looked over and saw something moving across the room. Oh no, he said. Remember those quotation marks, he's talking. What's wrong? I asked. I think I just saw a mouse in our house, he said. I'm going to bring my story to life a little bit more.
One way I can do that is by showing more action. I can unfreeze people and I can make them move and I can make them talk. Last time I made my characters, Mr. B and I, talk with those quotation marks. Today we're going to add a little bit more movement. We're going to explain using action words, verbs, what happened. So now that I've added to my picture, I can explain some of the additions that I added in words. So here it shows I put a chair there next to Mr. B because he jumped out of his chair when he saw that mouse across the room. So let's think about where I can add those words. How about here? Mr. B looked over and saw something moving across the room. "Oh no," he said, jumping out of his chair. So I can even add some movement lines showing, oh, he just jumped out of that chair, and I can add a caret here, right where I want to add the words. "Oh no," he said, right before that period. Jumping, whoops, lowercase, not uppercase, jumping out of his chair. How do you think he felt? Well, he was definitely surprised, right? What would cause you to jump out of your chair? Let's continue. "What's wrong?" I asked, right? I just saw Mr. B jump out of his chair and say, "Oh no, I think I just saw a mouse in our house," he said. And where did he see that mouse? He was pointing across the room. So I think I just saw a mouse in our house, and it just ran behind the television. So I didn't actually add the television into my illustration. It's never too late. I can add it right here on its little stand. Okay, I think I just saw a mouse in our house. How do we add on? We add a caret, and then we just add what we want to say. And it ran behind our television, and it ran toward, we'll say, toward, it was in the middle of the floor, I think, when he saw it, toward our television. Exclamation point, he said. And then he said, "Quick, get a box." And I thought, maybe we're going to need more than one box, so let's add that, right? As soon as we saw it, we knew we would need to capture it. So we have his talking. Mr. B says, "Get a box. Get a box," he said. And I talk, "Maybe two," I said. And I know we're talking about boxes. "Maybe two," exclamation point, I said. How do I stop my voice? You're right, period. Now let's see what we can add to the middle of our story. M stands for middle. Let's reread what we've already written. Reread with me. "Then I saw the mouse. First, I saw it run in the middle of the living room, and then I saw it hide in the corner by the window." There it is in the middle of the living room. There it is in the corner by the window. And then I'm talking, I added my quotation marks. "How are we going to catch it?" I asked Mr. B. Now I went back and I added more to my illustrations. I added the small steps of the middle. So first, I saw it in the middle of the living room, which is this picture. And then next, I saw it hide in the corner by the window, which is this picture. So I chose to tell some smaller steps in the middle of my story. Let's see what I can add. Now, in the beginning, Mr. B had seen the mouse, and now I had seen the mouse. So I think I can say, "Then I saw the mouse too," right? I also saw it. So I'm going to just put a caret in there if I want to add something and write "too." Okay, "Then I saw the mouse too." First, I saw it run in the middle of the living room, and then I saw it hide in the corner by the window. It was also behind the television. Maybe I'll add that. I saw it hide in the corner. I'll put a caret. Behind the television. By the window. Okay. And remember, in the beginning, Mr. B had asked me to get some boxes. So, how are we going to catch it? I asked Mr. B. Right? He said, put the boxes next to the television. So here he's talking. Put the boxes, actually they were open boxes, so let's add that. Put the open boxes, or I could say open the boxes and put them by the window, but I think he said put the open boxes in front of the television. In front of the television. How do I stop my voice? You're right, with a period. Period. And how do I stop my talking? Quotation marks. Put the open boxes in front of the television, he said. So I can add over here in this illustration kind of what the open boxes looked like. Kind of looked like this. And it was blocking. There's a back door over here. Okay. It was blocking the area that the mouse could run out of. So if the mouse ran out of its little area in the corner, it would be caught in one of the boxes. Let's reread the ending. E is for end. So we caught the mouse in a box and tossed it outside into the grass. Way to go, I said. Let's put those quotation marks in there. Way to go, I said. How do I stop my voice? You're right, period. So today you saw how I elaborated. I added some talking and I added some movement using verbs. Now it's your turn. You may go back to a piece you've written and elaborate, add more details, bring your story to life a little bit more, add to your illustration, add to your words, or you can start a new piece.
Hi, second and third graders. It's Ms. Hutchison. I've been doing a lot of reading since we've been stuck at home, and so some friends and I have been trading books around. So recently, I got 4 new books from a friend. I already have a bunch of books. I got 4 new ones, and I gave 3 books to one of my friends. So I was thinking, how many books do I have now? Do I even have room on my bookshelf for them all? And I was thinking, wow, I kind of just made a story problem. I got some books, I gave some books away. So we're going to do some story problems today with some things that you have in your house. For today's number sense activity, we're going to play a game called Guess My Number. To play Guess My Number, I'm going to give you some clues about a number, and you're going to try to figure out what it is. We'll start with an easy one. The first clue is that my number has 1 digit. The next clue is my number is greater than 6. Do you have any guesses? There are 3 numbers that it could be right now. Let's see if you can figure it out from the last clue. My last clue is my number is even. What's my number? My number is 8. Our next number will be a little harder. The first clue is that my number has 10s and 1s. So that tells me it's at least a 2-digit number. The next clue is that my number is less than 73. One of the digits in my number is 5. Do you have a guess? Do you know for sure what my number is? You need more clues to know for sure. The fourth clue is my number is odd. There are still a couple different numbers it could be. The last clue is that my number is between 30 and 40. What's my number? If you're not sure, we can use a hundreds chart to organize and keep track of our information. Clue 1 said my number has tens and ones. That means it can't be the numbers 1 through 9 because those don't have a tens place. And it can't be 100 because that has a hundreds place. Clue 2 says that my number is less than 73. That means the number can't be 73 or any of the numbers that are greater than 73. Clue 3 said one of the digits in my number is 5. It doesn't say whether it's the ones place or the tens place. It could be any of the numbers that are left with a 5 in the ones place, or it could be any of the numbers in the 50s because those have a 5 in the tens place. Next, my number is odd. All of the numbers with 5 in the ones place are odd, but some of the numbers in the 50s are even, so I'll cross them out. We're getting close. The last clue tells us that the number is between 30 and 40. That means it has to be one of these numbers. So the number is 35. This is a great game to play anywhere and anytime because you don't need any supplies. You can also play a variation where one person thinks of a number and the other person asks yes or no questions to try to guess the number. Have fun! For our mini lesson today, we are going to focus on story problems. By the end of our lesson today, you will be able to write addition and subtraction story problems and find the sum, difference, or missing number. Remember, a sum is the answer to an addition problem. A difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. We will be writing and solving addition and subtraction problems and finding the sum or difference. The cool thing about doing math at home is that you can make story problems out of anything in your house. So I'm going to show you some things I found in my house and tell you some story problems about them. I don't know about you, but I've been really enjoying some snacks lately. So here's a story problem about Oreos. I had some Oreos. I ate 5 for snack. Now I have 9 Oreos left. How many Oreos did I start with? So I'm trying to figure out how many I started with. That's my mystery amount. I'll write an equation to match this word problem. I had some Oreos. I don't know how many. It's a mystery, so I'll put a box. I ate 5 for snack. That means 5 went away, so I'll subtract 5. Now I have 9 Oreos left. How many Oreos did I start with? My equation is something minus 5 equals 9. How might you solve this problem? I think I'll use a related addition fact to solve. If I put these two Oreo amounts together, it will tell me how many I started with. 5 plus 9 is 14, which means 14 minus 5 is 9. I started with 14 Oreos. Now it's your turn to write the same type of story problem. I had something. I ate some for snack. Now I have some of them left. How many of them did I start with? Take some time to find something around your house that you can use to fill in the blanks and make your own story problem. Let's look at another one. I've been trying to collect lots of face masks so that I can be safe when I go outside and keep my germs to myself. My friends have made me some, my family have made me some, and I've bought some. I have 13 face masks. 2 of the masks wrap around the back of my head, and the rest go around my ears. How many of my face masks go around my ears? I know how many I started with and how many wrap around my head. I'm trying to figure out how many go around my ears. I'll make an equation to match my story problem. I have 13 face masks. 2 of the masks wrap around the back of my head. That's part of my whole. 13 is the whole, so I'll take those 2 out. The rest go behind my ears. Another way I might write this problem is with addition. Some of my masks go around my head, and some of them go around my ears. Altogether, I have 13 masks. I'll solve this problem with subtraction since it's easy to count back to. 13, 12, 11. That means 11 of the face masks go around my ears. It's also true that 2 plus 11 equals 13. My answer is 11 masks. Now it's your turn. I have blank somethings. Blank of them are something, and the rest are something. How many of them are something? Look around your house and find something that you can use to write a story problem that follows this format. I've been drawing a lot since I can't go outside as much, so my next problem has to do with pencils and pens. I have 4 pencils and 8 pens. How many more pens do I have than pencils? It's harder to write an equation for this story problem. Am I adding? Am I subtracting? This story problem is a comparison story problem. I'm comparing my number of pens and my number of pencils. I have more pens, so I'll start there. I'll match up pens and pencils to see how many are the same. Here's a pencil that can go with this pen. Here's a pencil that can go with this pen. Here's a pencil that can go with this pen. And here's a pencil that can go with this pen. There are 4 pens left that don't have a pencil. That's how many more pens I have than pencils. I can write this as an addition equation. 4 pencils plus however many more pens there are equals 8 pens total. Or as a subtraction equation. I start with 8 pens. 4 of them have a match with pencils. How many are left that don't have a match? I already solved and know that my answer is 4 pens. Now it's your turn to write a comparison story problem. I have blank somethings and blank somethings. How many more something do I have than something? Find some things around your house and write a comparison story problem. Now you've had practice writing and solving addition and subtraction story problems. You've found the sum, the answer to addition problems, and the difference, the answer to subtraction problems. You've also solved problems where you have a number missing in the middle of the problem. Keep writing story problems this summer. See if you can give them to a family member or friend to solve. Try to write as many different kinds of story problems as you can. Now let's reflect on the learning we did today. Today, I found things around my apartment and made them into story problems for you, and you practiced doing the same thing. We can make story problems out of anything in our lives. Since this is our last week of summer school, today as you reflect, I want you to think about what you can do on your own for the rest of the summer to keep being a mathematician. Make a goal. What is your math goal for the rest of the summer? How can you keep your brain thinking about math? What can you do to make sure that you're ready for your next grade? Tell your math goal to someone in your family so that they can remind you about it and you can keep working on it together for the rest of the summer. Hi, parents and families. I hope you enjoyed writing and solving story problems with your student today. Today, your math tip is to switch things up. Discuss lots of different types of story problems with your student. It's easy to always ask, how many are there in all for an addition problem? Or how many are left for a subtraction problem? But there are lots of different ways to set up story problems. Try also asking, how many did I give away? How many more do you have? Or how many did you start with? And remember, it's always okay to solve problems like this with addition or subtraction, as long as you're keeping track of which number is missing and its relationship with the other numbers in the problem. Enjoy the rest of your summer writing and solving story problems with your student.
Hi, my name is Erin San. I'm a teacher and a mindfulness coach, and what that means is I help people just like you use all of their senses to notice from moment to moment what is happening in their lives so that they can stress a little bit less and smile a whole lot more. Today, I'm here to share with you one of my favorite mindfulness exercises to use at a time in your life or a time in your day when you just need to take a pause and refocus your mind from anything else that may be distracting you. This can become very helpful when you're trying to keep your mind focused on finishing a task. Sometimes we have trouble finishing a task because it's too challenging for us, or we get distracted. And this simple mindfulness exercise will get you back on track so that you can concentrate. Are you ready? Excellent. This is called stop. I want you to think about a stop sign. A stop sign is red. It has 8 sides. It's an octagon. And it has the word stop written on it. S-T-O-P. When you want to do this exercise, stop, you first begin with the S. And the S means stop. Stop what you're doing. Take a pause from whatever it is you're trying to finish, whatever activity you're in the middle of. Take a pause from whatever daydream is distracting you or thought is trying to take you away, and just pause for a moment. Come into your body. The T is take 5 breaths. Just take 5 breaths and let all of your attention ride the wave of those 5 breaths as they come in and out of your body. The O is for observe. So after you take your breaths, simply notice, how does your body feel? How does your mind feel? What are you noticing about your body in that one moment? Does something hurt? Is there something you need? Do you need to ask for help? Simply observe what is going on in your own body. And then take a moment to observe what is happening outside of your body. What do you hear? What can you smell? What do you see? And then the P stands for proceed. Go back to doing what you are doing and notice if it's easier for you to focus, easier for you to concentrate, so that you can finish whatever it is you're setting your mind to finish. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. I hope you use stop anytime you need to take a little mindful pause to clear your mind so that you can get back on track. I look forward to practicing with you again.
Second Step lessons are created by Committee for Children, who owns and controls all rights therein. Permission was granted to district to make and broadcast this video for educational use only by district parents, families, teachers, and counselors with students currently learning via television broadcast due to the impact of COVID-19. No other use of this video or Second Step lessons is permitted. Committee for Children, 2020. Hi everyone, nice to see you again. And congratulations, you have made it to the last week of summer school. Good job persevering through hard work and learning. Let's get started today with the grounding exercise from last week. This will help you calm your body and your mind so you can focus on today's lesson. This is a grounding technique called 5-4-3-2-1. This technique will take you through your 5 senses to help remind you of the present. This is a calming technique that can help you get through tough or stressful situations. We'll start with one big belly breath, in through your nose and out. Number 5, look. Look around for 5 things that you can see and say them out loud. You could say, I see my dog. I see the pillow on the couch. I see a picture on the wall. Or I see a cloud in the sky. Number 4, feel. Pay attention to your body and think of 4 things that you can feel and say them out loud. You could say, I feel my feet warm in my socks. I feel my hair on the back of my neck. Or I feel the chair underneath my bottom. Number 3, listen. Listen for 3 sounds you can hear and say them out loud. It could be the sound of the air conditioner, the sound of a dog barking, or the sound of an airplane in the sky. Number 2, smell. Say 2 things you can smell out loud. If you can't smell anything, Think of your 2 favorite smells. You could also move into a different room to find a smell in the kitchen. Number 1, taste. Say one thing you can taste. It may be the toothpaste from brushing your teeth, maybe it's bubble gum, or if you can't taste anything, say the name of your favorite thing to eat. Take another deep belly breath to end. Good job. Today, we're going to talk about how to finish strong. Sometimes it's easy to start a new task, but finishing the task can be challenging. You might get frustrated along the way as you're learning something new and it doesn't come easily. Maybe a problem comes up that you have to solve that you weren't prepared for. Maybe you get distracted by something that's happening around you, or you start thinking about something that you're really looking forward to doing in the future. When these things happen, it's a good idea to use your calming down strategies to stay focused so you can finish. I want to tell you about a 2nd grader named Tanisha. Take a look at this photo. Tanisha has a mess to clean up. It's Friday, which in Tanisha's class means that students must clean out their desks before they can have choice time. Tanisha loves choice time, but her desk is really messy this week. It's going to take her a while to clean it out before she can join in. How do you think Tanisha feels? Yeah, I'd be pretty annoyed and frustrated too. But how can you tell? Hopefully you see her mouth is open, her hands are out, her shoulders are a little hunched. Her body's telling us too that she's not very happy about the situation. Point to the places on the body on the screen where you think Tanisha is feeling her very strong feelings. Pointing to her head because she's thinking about not being able to have choice time. Pointing to her heart because her heart's probably racing because she's upset. Tanisha's feelings are very strong, and part of her wants to just sit at her desk, cross her arms, and do nothing. Listen to her negative self-talk. She's saying to herself, I hate cleaning out my desk. It's not fair. I just want to do what I want, but it's so messy. It'll take forever. The other kids are so lucky. Show me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do you think Tanisha's self-talk is helping her or not helping her? Hopefully your thumbs down. Tanisha is feeling very annoyed, but her negative self-talk is making those feelings even stronger, and she's having trouble focusing her attention to think about how to clean out her desk and get started. How could she calm down to stay focused on the task? Let's think together about what she could do. Take a look at the How to Calm Down poster. Stop, name your feelings, calm down. Tanisha's learned this too, so she uses self-talk and she says, stop. Be cool. I feel annoyed and jealous. Then she does some belly breathing. Now she feels more ready to focus her attention on her desk. Tanisha then uses some positive self-talk to get her going. She says to herself, focus. I can do this. The faster I get my desk clean, the faster I can join choice time. Just focus. Tanisha is able to clean her desk and join choice time. Using the calming down steps can help you focus your attention and finish the task you're working on. Before we finish today, I want to encourage you to read the book My Strong Mind by Niels van Hove. The story is about a young girl named Kate who learns about the power of positive self-talk, and she uses it to overcome her fears, focus her attention, and achieve her goals. It's a great reminder that if you think strong, you will feel strong. Ask an adult to help you find a read aloud of the book on YouTube after the lesson. See you on Wednesday.
Hola chicos, soy la señorita Silva y soy una maestra en la Escuela de Inmersión Claremont. Estoy muy contenta que estén conmigo hoy para la lección en casa con APS. La lección de hoy se trata de historias matemáticas de suma y resta. Aprendamos juntos. Historias matemáticas de suma y resta. Comenzaremos la lección de matemáticas con una actividad llamada ¿cuál no pertenece? Mira las 4 ecuaciones. Piensa cuidadosamente sobre cuál no pertenece. Piensa en los motivos por los que no pertenece y por qué los otros 3 sí pertenecen. Cualquier respuesta a esta actividad es una buena respuesta siempre y cuando que puedas explicar tu pensamiento. ¿En cuál estás pensando que no pertenece? Te voy a dar unos segundos. Voy a usar la oración a continuación para responder. Yo creo que 8 más 7 no pertenece porque el resultado es diferente a las demás ecuaciones. 8 más 7 es igual a 15. Sin embargo, 8 más 6 es igual a 14. 7 más 7 es igual a 14 y 5 más 9 es igual a 14. 8 más 7 es igual a 15, así que es diferente. Si tú estabas pensando en otra ecuación que no pertenece, tu respuesta también es correcta siempre y cuando puedas explicar tu pensamiento. Objetivo de aprendizaje. Al final de esta lección podrás crear y resolver problemas matemáticos de 1 y 2 pasos que involucren sumas y restas. Vocabulario. Cuando estamos sumando, ¿estamos pensando en el total de algo? ¿O tal vez ganaste algo? ¿Obtuviste algo? ¿Estás juntando algo? ¿Comprando algo? Estas son palabras que te van a ayudar cuando resolvamos las historias de suma y resta. Palabras para ayudarte a restar es cuando pierdes algo, queda algo, resta o quitas algo. Acuérdate, cuando estás sumando quieres encontrar el total de algo o obtuviste algo, y cuando estás restando perdiste algo o estás comparando 2 cosas. Una de las estrategias que uso en el salón con mis estudiantes para resolver problemas de suma-resta es la estrategia de cubes. Vamos a repasar qué significa cada letra en la estrategia de cubes. Empecemos con la C. En el problema verbal, usualmente vas a empezar con la C y vas a circular los números en el problema. Después vas a pasar a la U de cubes y vas a subrayar la pregunta. Cada problema verbal tiene una pregunta a la que tienes que responder. La B en cubes es para poner una caja a las palabras de acción de matemática. Las palabras que te dicen qué tienes que hacer, si vas a sumar o restar. E es para eliminar tal vez información innecesaria que no necesitas en el problema. A veces los problemas nos dan información extra que no necesitamos. Así que podemos eliminar. Y por último, la S en cube es para resolver tu problema verbal. Empecemos. Leamos el siguiente problema verbal. Hay 24 estudiantes en la clase de segundo grado. 15 de los estudiantes son niños y el resto son niñas. ¿Cuántas niñas hay en segundo grado? Empecemos con la estrategia de cubes. C, voy a circular los números 24 y 15. U, voy a subrayar la pregunta. ¿Cuántas niñas hay en segundo grado? B, voy a hacer una caja a la palabra importante. Sé que hay 15 niños y quiero saber el resto. ¿Cuántas niñas hay? Para mí, esa es una palabra clave. E, voy a eliminar información que no es importante. He utilizado todo mi problema verbal, así que voy a pasar a la S y voy a resolver. Sé que el total de los estudiantes es 24. Y hay 15 niños. Quiero saber cuántas niñas hay. Esto quiere decir que 15 niños más niñas es igual a 24. ¿Qué número podemos aumentar a 15 para llegar a 24? Contemos hacia adelante. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. ¿Cuánto aumentamos a 15 para llegar a 24? 9. Hay 9 niñas. Sigamos. Señorita Silva tiene 18 hojas de papel. Mr. Miller le dio 16 hojas más de papel. ¿Cuántas hojas de papel tiene señorita Silva en total? De nuevo, empecemos con la C. 18 y 16. Circulo mis números. U. Subrayo la pregunta. ¿Cuántas hojas de papel tiene señorita Silva en total? B. Caja a la palabra importante. Mr. Miro le dio 16 hojas más de papel. Esto quiere decir que voy a usar la suma o la resta. ¿Estás correcto? Voy a sumar el signo más. E. Eliminar información que no es necesaria. Veo que todo lo que tengo en este problema verbal igual es importante, así que voy a pasar a la S y voy a resolver. 18 más 16. Reagrupemos. 8 más 6. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 4 unidades y una decena. Ahora tenemos 3 decenas. 1 más 1 más 1 es 3. 18 más 16 es igual a 34. Señorita Silva tiene 34 hojas de papel. Última historia matemática. Craig tiene un billete de $20. Él compra 6 pistolas de agua por $2 cada uno. ¿Cuánto dinero le queda a Craig? Empecemos con la C en cubes. $20 y $2. ¿Me falta algún otro número? Lee bien el problema verbal. Excelente. Él compra 6 pistolas de agua. Así que voy a escribir 6 y voy a circular. U. Subraya la pregunta. ¿Cuánto dinero le queda a Craig? B. Caja a la palabra importante. Quiero saber cuánto dinero le queda. E. Eliminar información no necesaria. Y voy a pasar a S. Resolver. Craig tiene $20. Él compró 6 pistolas de agua por $2 cada una y quiero saber cuánto dinero le queda. Para saber cuánto dinero le queda, primero tengo que saber cuánto dinero gastó. Él compró 6 pistolas de agua. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Y cada una costó $2. Voy a sumar. Contemos de 2 en 2 para saber el total de dinero que gastó. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Él gastó $12. 20 menos 12. Contemos hacia adelante. 20 menos 12 es igual a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. ¿Le queda cuánto dinero? Muy bien. Le queda $8. Voy a escribir el signo del dólar adelante. Es hora de reflexionar en lo que hemos aprendido. Para la reflexión de hoy, crea un problema verbal de suma o resta de acuerdo a lo trabajado en esta lección. Resuelve tu problema verbal usando la estrategia de cubes. ¿Cuáles son los pasos utilizados para resolver tu problema verbal? Recuerda las palabras importantes para la suma y la resta. Consejo familiar de matemáticas. Padres, animen a sus hijos a hablar y mostrar un problema de matemáticas de una manera que tenga sentido. Es decir, hacer un dibujo o usar materiales que tengan en casa. Facilite a su hijo con palabras verbales de matemática. Esto es el ejemplo de un juego. Toma el número 5. Agrega 6. Resta 3. ¿Cuál es tu respuesta? Hable lentamente al principio hasta que su hijo mejore en la resolución de estos problemas mentales. Entonces, hable más rápido. Y por último, cuando su hijo esté resolviendo problemas matemáticos, haga preguntas como: ¿cómo lo resolviste? ¿Qué puedes hacer a continuación? ¿Tiene sentido la respuesta? ¿Cómo lo sabes? Esto ayuda a fomentar el pensamiento sobre las matemáticas.